so we can kind of help identify the cylinder. So the WPS is going to go away, and we'll get the oil cap back on. And we will, at this stage, we need a trigger to identify something. Okay. Okay. Oil cap going back on. The green channel will now, we're going to look at what we triggered. Okay. Okay, man. So we're going to go to here. We want to get on the ignition trigger for 1. That's how we'll identify our problem cylinder. Okay. Ground that channel. Okay, so we're triggered on 1. So let's change our scale. We're gonna go and get our green guy is gonna have to go, and we're gonna look at a 10 volt range because that's a 5 volt trigger from the PCM. All right, come on. Go to 10 volts. We run it. We'll get everything back. We'll crank the car again and take a look at it. Same situation. Okay, our amp clamp went to sleep. I think this has a tendency to do that. It's about the button. Anyway. Okay. We got everything. Okay, let's take a look at that. Now we have a trigger, so we're able to use a reference point to see our cylinder that's compromised. Let's kind of get the relative compression up. We'll get the vacuum pulls below it. Look at green. Okay, guess what I didn't do? I didn't put a fuse in. No, I should have it. It's got a fuse. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Okay, I just got to get my trigger working. See what's up with that. All right. Okay, I'll start her up again. Guess what I got to do? I got to crank it in its natural state. Okay, that's my bad. All right, my bad. All right. No fuel, no biggie. No biggie. No fuel. Okay, I'm gonna have to disconnect the injectors. Disconnecting the injectors on this. Okay. May have a little run. Got a shot. Okay, we'll stop the scope. Okay, yes, we have a trigger. Okay. We have exactly what we're looking for. Let's look at a fire cycle and analyze it. Okay, you can see the green, that's our trigger. That is the number one cylinder firing. This is 720 degrees of crank rotation. We're a little low on the vacuum pulls, relative compression. Let's see if you guys see anything out of the lowest cylinder. If you were to look at this, the lowest cylinder relative compression is okay. We got one. Yep, 1, 3, 4, 2. And let me show you something. I'll try to see if this thing can get going. Who would say that I guess you'd, it makes sense to say that the lowest cylinder is 1, 3, 4, 2. It would be cylinder 3. Take a look at this. That's where the thing is. It is right in cylinder 3. So you guys were right. And I want to tell you something else. I never opened that valve. In other words, I put the hose in, the flimsy hose, and the shutoff valve. The shutoff valve is actually closed. But being that hose took on volume, that will affect compression. I just want to prove that point because it's very subtle, but nonetheless something to keep an eye on. That may cause a very slight misfire only at idle, be a tough problem to find. But that, nonetheless, be mindful that excessive volume above a piston would also cause low compression. So if I had even a longer hose, it would be lower there. So now I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to get the scope and I'm going to create a more pronounced compression leak. We may even hear it. So here we go, and we're going to start the scope, and I'll crank it over for I'll crank it in its natural state. Let's stop the scope. Okay, so we can see we're still lower on 3. Cylinder 3 has the compression leak. It's getting a little lower. I'm probably going to do one more, put a little more of a leak in there and crank it. But are we starting to see anomalies? We're definitely seeing an anomaly in blue. Black is, where would the exhaust pull for the 3-cylinder be? Let's kind of take a look at this. If this is 1, this is 1, this is 3. 3 fires here. This has kind of been my Achilles heel, and I got to work on it. Let me get some stretch on green, and then we'll put these guys out with some rulers and take a look at each part of the fire cycle, each 120 degrees of the crank in this situation. We know we're triggered on 1. Here's 1. That's our cylinder 1. There's our 3. 3 is lower on relative compression. Okay. This is 3's when 3 was fired. 180 degrees later, 3's exhaust valve would open. This is the exhaust pull for 3 right here. Let's see if that thing has any kind of anomaly. It really doesn't. Okay, we got 1, 3. No, okay. Anyway, let's take a little more compression away from that cylinder and crank it, and then see what happens. I'll start the scope and we'll analyze it. Let me get rid of these guys. Okay. Okay. You heard that sound like a train coming into the station. We'll stop the scope and eventually we'll stop the video. Okay. Okay. Well, that's sticking out like a sore thumb now. Okay. As we can see, we're real low on blue. That's our cylinder 3. We're firing 1, 3, 4, 2. Okay. Let me see something here. And I'm going to give a ton of vertical zoom on black. Okay. Nonetheless, here's our low compression. Our crank, what I can say about the vacuum pulls, when a cylinder has low compression, it accelerates. It accelerates here. When it accelerates on its next event, it kind of overshoots because it's got the load of that cylinder, because that compression's good, and the crank slows down, hence the weak vacuum pull. So anyway, that's the waveform, and I hope you enjoyed this. It can only get better, and thanks for watching, and take care. And always remember, engine mechanical is a vital sign, and you always want to do it. Thanks.